Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdelghani Sukkar, and I'm here with you to present our webinar for today, which is on how to create a solid commercial and technical offer as an Odoo partner. So I'll give you a quick background of myself. So I am the account manager of our official partners in Kuwait. I've been managing the Kuwait territory for the past year and almost 2 years now. Previously also I worked on with partners in other locations like Jordan and Lebanon. Alright, so today's discussion will be mainly on helping our partners achieve the ability to discuss their knowledge and their expertise with their clients and to be able to present it in a very professional proposal. And what we will start by discussing is, first of all, who we are as Odoo, just a quick introduction. Then we will move on to discuss like the partnership overview and its benefits. Then we will talk about the how to qualify customers and how to understand them so we can prepare a strong offer for them. As well, we will talk about how we can help you strategize and we can help you figure out how to build the best proposal. And then we will talk about the exact details that are usually present in good technical and commercial proposals. And we will end with utilizing the available resources for the partners. So what is Odoo, or who are we? Odoo is an ERP company, but it's actually more than that. It is a software company that provides a suite of business solutions, and it ranges all the way from operations to manufacturing and even marketing. So the logic, or let's say the aim of Odoo, is to have everyone in a company or an organization on Odoo, putting their work on Odoo and all under one umbrella. We are present in multiple locations. Currently we have expanded even more than this slide is showing you. Currently I'm speaking to you from the Dubai office, where we look after the Middle East region. We have offices in North America, in Europe, in Asia, and recently we opened offices in Kenya as well as in Australia. So we are continuously expanding. Actually, we have a 67% annual growth that we recorded recently, and we have a lot of partners. Our network of partners globally is in the thousands. Currently, we are more than 3,500. So what is Odoo and what makes it different from other ERPs? Well, first of all, Odoo is designed for individual users, and it aims to solve users' problems and to be there for everyone that is using the system. Unlike many of the traditional ERPs that are usually more geared towards management or just the decision makers, and it's usually not user friendly. It's also fully integrated out of the box, and it always allows for this continuous adding features and continuously utilizing more of the software. And it also delivers a powerful enterprise class software to smaller businesses, to small and medium businesses. And this is what we aim to achieve. We aim to spread ERP across all different sizes of businesses. Now, when it comes to the Odoo partnership overview, we have two main types of partners. We have what we call learning partners, and we have official partners. Here you see 4 different divisions, and that's because our official partners are divided into 3 categories. Now, to start with the learning partners are the partners who want to start with Odoo. They want to understand how Odoo works, how the software functions, what we can do with this kind of software to our clients, but they don't get the full access or the full benefit of the Odoo partnership program. The other type, which is the official partners, is subdivided into ready, silver, and gold, and that depends on multiple criteria, like the number of users that are achieved, the number of certified experts present in the company, in the partner company, and the retention rate of the existing customers. Now, If you go to odoo.com/partners, you will be able to find our official partners, and this is one of the benefits which I'll discuss later. But you will not find our learning partners, because we like to first prepare them before putting them up live on our website. And also I want to highlight that almost all our partners should have someone dedicated to them, dedicated to helping them, dedicated to supporting them in their journey with Odoo. And we are very motivated as Odoo workers, Odoo employees, to kind of help you grow. So always be in touch with your account manager or representative, so that you can gain the most benefit. Now, part of the partnership benefits that we provide are more geared towards official partners, but we have a range of different benefits, and that includes, to start with, the qualified opportunities. And these are opportunities that we provide to our partners based on their track record, based on the market, based on their expertise, what are they good at, what industry, etc., etc. You get also a dedicated account manager. So for example, like I mentioned earlier, I'm managing our official partners in the Kuwait region. You get access to marketing resources and success stories, sometimes with a very positive implementation story. We usually try to work with the partner and with the customer, with their customer, to publish a success story. And this is usually good for marketing. You get also subscription coupons, which is basically a way for you to redeem part of your subscription, part of your partnership fee towards your internal subscription, so that you can also utilize Odoo internally. And there's also the commissions, which can be very lucrative once we account for all the products, including the Odoo SH and the users and the applications. You get the promotion on odoo.com, which I already mentioned, and that is, for official partners. Now, more of that, you get also the Odoo certification qualification. You can have your employees in your organization certified by Odoo. You get access to the enterprise source code. You have a knowledge base that you can look into, Odoo SH Access, and an e-learning platform where you can always learn about applications and features continuously. Alright, so let's start now, and let's dig deep into how to build a proposal. Now, the first and most important thing is customer qualification. And, as account managers and as people who are dealing with partners here at Odoo, we cannot stress this enough. Customer qualification is very important. And what do I mean by customer qualification? I mean the general understanding of what the customer does, who they are, what they do, what is their capacity, what's their expectations, all of these things. Understanding the customer is the key to building a good proposal. Now, how do you qualify a customer? How do you get all of this information? Well, the first and foremost and the most important thing is to understand workflows. What is workflows? Well, it's basically how the business flows in the customer's organization. How does the sales process happen, and how does it connect to their operations and then to their accounting? What do their marketing team do? All of these things are very important. And notice that I said workflows and I didn't say what are their departments or what kind of job descriptions they have. And the reason is because Odoo works in an integrated way. All the apps are integrated, and the logic is that it connects a certain workflow and not just have every department operate on their own. So what I mean by workflow is something like, let's say, a professional services company. They have their sales team who goes after new clients, sends them proposals, lands the deal. This proposal now becomes a project. Now this project is in implementation, and then there is also the accounts department, which is in charge of the invoicing. So this is a workflow where multiple departments are involved, and this is the most important thing, because this is what will help you understand how to build the solution on Odoo. The next thing is identify your influencers and champions. Influencers are the people who are able to make a decision within the organization or change the minds of the decision makers. We need to be able to identify them, and we need to be able to speak to them, and we need to have also our proposals reflect their needs, because these are the main people that will decide on this solution. The champions are the people who are advocating for Odoo in the company, and they could be anyone, from the delivery person all the way to the CEO. They are the people who are taking your cause as an Odoo solution provider and pushing for it internally. Once we know these two characters or these two profiles in the company, that's when we can really target them, and that's where we can build a strong proposal. We need to also obviously identify the pain points and struggles and bottlenecks of the client. Maybe a customer has an issue with tracking inventory. They lose a lot of inventory, or maybe they are in the food industry and a lot of their inventory goes wasted because they are not able to get them out in a proper way. All of these are certain pain points, and they are very specific, even though they want an entire solution for an entire company. These are the points where you can really pinpoint a certain problem, and if you solve it in your proposal, then you'll be able to gain advantage over the other proposals that the customer might be receiving. And the last thing is understanding the opportunity timeline. Now, why do I say that? Well, we need to know how urgent this opportunity is, because the more urgent it is, the more careful you should be about what you pitch to the client, what kind of details go into it, what kind of commitments go into it, and all of these will help will help you understand what's the best way to manage your proposal. All right, now to the next point, which is strategizing with Odoo. Now, Odoo works closely with partners, and we help them achieve their technical and commercial goals. Odoo is incentivized to grow their partners because it's a win-win relationship. When our partners grow, and when their reputation improves in the market, and when they are able to do better in the market, then we are able to do better as well, because they are partnering with us and they are strengthening our market image in the market. Your account manager is responsible for supporting you with your technical and commercial offers. This is part of our own KPIs, our own incentives, our own motivations as account managers. We are responsible for you as a partner, and your success is our success. And that's why we always encourage you to get in touch with us, to share with us your concerns, your questions, all of the things that you want to know, because we want to help you grow, and that will help us grow as well. Now, what's in it for you as a partner? Well, sometimes in reality, customers tell Odoo account managers information that isn't shared with the partner. For example, maybe the customer might not want to share that they are looking into other softwares or speaking to other partners. We can help you navigate through that. We can help you understand what are the needs, what are the concerns of the client. Odoo account managers also can identify if the customer had any previous experience with Odoo. We can know, for example, did the customer sign up online and was approached by someone and it never went anywhere? Was there any specific reason that the customer was not interested? Why is he regaining this interest in Odoo? So we can help you kind of like understand all of this. And Odoo account managers also evaluate best practices in the market among partners and share them. So each account manager is usually dedicated towards a certain area or a certain geographical location or a certain class of partners. For example, I'm looking after our Kuwait partners, and that means that I'm more familiar with the market. I understand what are the needs of the customers in the market, and I understand what are the best practices and the expectations of the customers in that market. And that's where we can help our partners with by adding value, with telling them, okay, this is what happens usually in the market, this is how to best approach it. All right, so let's jump into the bulk of the presentation, how to build the strong technical offer. Now, if you notice that I'm starting with the technical offer, and the reason is because the commercial offer should come after the technical offer. The technical offer should be the focus, and it should be the main the main part that you are presenting to the customer, because that will lead the way and that will pave the way towards a strong commercial offer. The most important thing that you need to keep in mind in your technical offer should be aiming at educating your customer. Now, what do I mean by that? If you want your customers to accept your offers, they need to know what they are signing. So we can't provide a vague technical offer, or an offer that doesn't have that many details. So many times I have encountered offers where it talks about, yes, we will implement the inventory and accounting and invoicing modules for you for this price. Okay, but I mean, what are you implementing exactly? I mean, what kind of did you address this concern that I had earlier, that I shared with you, the bottleneck that I shared with you earlier? So this is really important. We need to make sure that we educate our customers. We also educate our customers so that we avoid future surprises. We don't want customers to come back to us and tell us, well, I had this concern before and I don't feel like it was resolved with this project, and then we have future surprises and extra scope that we did not account for. So it's very important to have a proper way to inform our customers. We also need to get the buy-in from all our key stakeholders in the project to be able to win the project. And the way we get the buy-in from the key stakeholders is by educating them. We need to inform our chief of finance how it will benefit their finance team. We need to explain to the purchasing manager how we streamline the purchasing process, and etc., etc. And also, why you would educate your customer is to agree on an exact scope, to avoid all of these other points that were discussed already. All right, now agree on an exact scope. This is very important, and I can't stress how important it is, because we've seen so many times that our partners sometimes fall into a position where they have not agreed on an exact scope, and there's a lot of disagreements on what should have happened in the project. So usually the best practice that we have, and the way that Odoo does it as well, is that we categorize the scope into 3 different areas. The first one is standard Odoo. Standard Odoo is every requirement or workflow that can be done on Odoo standard as it is out of the box. All right. So as soon as you download the software, you tinker around with the settings to be able to find that workflow for the customer. This is a standard Odoo implementation. The next kind of requirement or scope is customization, and this is what we mean by with requirements that require the Studio app, where we are just adding maybe a one field or one automated action, or something simple that can be utilized with the Studio app, which is our app builder that is built in, but it does not need any kind of coding or any kind of developer involvement. The last thing is when we have exhausted standard Odoo features and exhausted the Studio app features and jumped into development, where we go in and we change the code in the system. We change the code of the database so that it has a brand new feature that was not present in the standard Odoo. And we try to keep this at a bare minimum. The usual rule of thumb is to try to fit 70 to 80% of the scope within standard Odoo, and then maybe leave 10% for customization with the Studio app, and then let the developments not exceed anything more than 10%. And we try to stress that we keep it at 0, because we believe in our software and we believe it can help most of the businesses and most of the requirements, and at the same time it's more convenient for later for upgrades and for the speed of the database, etc. Here's a sample of a table of contents of one of the technical offers that I once worked on with a partner. Now I want to show you just a quick breakdown. If you see here, the first part, we are talking about a general introduction. We are telling people about, the executive summary, what will be the project about, what is the company profile, what have we done before, who are our clients, what do we do. And I'm talking as a partner here. And then we go into the proposed solution. And if you see that there is the, the discussion of the required modules, we present some sample screens. We try to highlight as much as possible what is included here, and then we move on to the to number 3, which is the details, which is the scope of work. What will be in the scope? The language support, the quality control and assurance, like what kind of QA and QC protocol we will have in the project. what we will do with the user acceptance testing, what platforms and devices might be used along with the solution to kind of complete the solution, and what are the exact deliverables. So what kind of features or what kind of outcome are we gonna end up with. But here, if you see also number 3, it doesn't only have in scope, it also have out of scope, and this is very important. Sometimes we need to make clear what is excluded. Yes, we do have what is included, but sometimes there's a disagreement on what is excluded and what's the logic behind excluding it. So I always encourage my partners to include this out of scope section in their proposal. And that's because sometimes you want to clearly highlight that, for example, we are not going to integrate with any other solution. We're not going to integrate Odoo with any solution in this project. Integration will take extra work, and that is going to be discussed separately. Or, for example, we will not be responsible for your hardware if you are buying a point of sale. We will set up the software, but we will not be responsible for your hardware, and that's not including that. So it's very important that you highlight what is out of the scope. And the last section of the scope of work is the assumptions. Also, a lot of the time you are doing the scope of work, you are qualifying your customer, you're gathering details, but there are still things that are left to assumptions because you have not dug into the project fully. And this is very important to understand, because if the assumptions change, then the scope of work will change, and you need to highlight that to the customer in your technical proposal. Now, number 4, you can see that there's the hardware requirements, like I mentioned earlier. When it comes to, let's say, the point of sale example, you need to highlight what is the hardware requirements and what works with Odoo, what doesn't, what needs maybe an IoT box, etc., etc. There is the project management and timeline. This is also very important because this allows you to give a clear expectation of what's going to happen throughout this project, and when are we gonna be in touch, what are we gonna discuss at different times, and what should we be done with. And this also gives the responsibility on the customer to be committed and to provide you the resources you need to complete the project on time. And last thing, you see that there's the user training, which usually highlights the scope of like how many hours of training will you provide, or what kind of training, how is the structure of the training. This is important because when customers end the project and you deliver the solution to them, they tell you, okay, you need to teach our resources how to use it. And usually there is a disagreement on that scope. So it's very important to highlight it beforehand so you avoid future surprises. And lastly, you can see there's discussion on external references. If anything was brought up, any reference regarding like what is the Odoo security, or let's say the POS compatibility devices, these are all like provided at the end as a appendix, or the last section. Now, once we are done with this, once we have built this strong technical proposal, we have put all of this information, we have given the customer everything that they need to see. We made sure we highlight the pain points and there's in the solution, to make sure we highlight that we will solve X, Y, and Z that you, Mr. Customer, told us that you have a struggle with. Then we jump on to building the strong commercial offer. Now, when it comes to commercial offers, there are multiple ways and multiple approaches that our partners take. I want to categorize them, or like compare them on two separate sides. The first one is like the more detailed commercial offer, and the other one is more of the lump sum commercial offer. And both have benefits. Let's say they have pros and cons when it comes to using them. With the detailed with the detailed offer, obviously you will be separating it either by a specific workflow, like we discussed earlier. Some partners separate it by apps, so they go like, okay, you have 8 apps. The first app is going to cost you this much to implement, the second one this much, the third one this much. Now, it's good, it's easy to understand for the customer, but it's not the best because the apps rely on each other and they are integrated. So you can't just remove one app and expect the rest to be the same. So that's where we encourage to price by workflow. So let's say the operations, which will be, all the way from the purchase of the goods to the storage of the goods to the sales of the goods and delivery. This is the operations. And then there's maybe the sales workflow, which is the CRM along with the sales and invoicing. And then there is the accounting module, which, or the accounting workflow. So we encourage our partners to consider more of a workflow approached pricing, but you can do it in the way that you find comfortable. The lump sum usually is like a project. I will do this for you, and this is the price for it. With the detailed, you can also find that it specifies exact scope, and sometimes it even prices the scope separately. So they go like, okay, the standard implementation is going to cost you this much, but the customizations and the developments are going to cost you this much, and the integration with this X software will cost you this much. This is also an approach that we find a lot in the market, and it's very useful. Because it helps the customer understand that maybe if I don't want to integrate with this software, if I dump it all along, then I can save this much money. So it's more helpful. So like discussed, like I just mentioned, this detailed approach is better for bigger projects, is more suitable for that, because we can't just throw in one big price at a client without expecting a proper detailed description of how you are pricing us, what are you pricing on exactly, so that the customer can understand what they are getting into. The detailed offer also helps you avoid scope creep. And what I mean by scope creep, it's a project management term, and it means the uncontrollable increase and demands of the customer, where the end result of the project becomes so far from the originally agreed on scope. And that when you provide a detailed commercial and technical offer, it usually helps a lot with avoiding that, and staying on track and staying in within the scope. With the detailed also, there's a lot of times we see a specification for an hourly rate for the extra scope. So for example, if you need to do something extra, then we charge an X amount, and this is how we charge it. And so in case you need anything extra, you know exactly what you will be paying, even for something that is not part of the initial scope. Now with lump sum, like I mentioned earlier, it's easier to understand. It might be better for smaller projects with standard implementation, where there isn't much complication. It's you will set up a system where you will set up one workflow maybe, and you will charge a certain amount and then deliver it, and that's it. But I still believe that we should include the excluded scope. It's very important. Even with this general lump sum offer, we should mention in the terms that, for example, we are not going to customize. We're not going to do any special customizations. We will be relying on Odoo standard. There won't be development, or there won't be any integration with any other solution or any hardware. So it should be clearly highlighted. And I believe also that we should specify hourly rate for extra scope, because at the end of the day, you never know when the customer comes back asking for more scope, and there should be some kind of an initial agreement on what that would look like. Here's an example of just a virtual example. We have Partner Co, and this Partner Co is providing a additional resources for the customer, and this is optional. So they can have a technical or functional consultant per day, and they pay a certain amount. Here, this is an arbitrary number of $250 per day. And there is also the other option, which is you can dedicate an entire team, and the daily rate of that team is an X amount, and this will provide you technical, functional consultant, QA, and business analyst, and project manager. So if you can look here, you will see that the proposal, or the commercial proposal, not only did it have the actual scope, but it also had the optional scope, which is where you might encounter later. If you look here as well, this is an important point, which is AMCs, or annual maintenance contracts, in other words, or what other partners call it, support packages. A lot of our partners utilize this to always be, continuously improve the customer's work and the customer's workflow, and also always stay in touch and be engaging the customer as well. And it's a good source of recurring revenue, and this is the business model that Odoo uses, and we encourage also our partners to consider it as well, because recurring business model is a very good supplement, and it's a very stable source of income for our partners, as compared to only relying on projects and implementations. You can see here, for example, the support package. This is a silver support package, and it's priced at a certain rate. And it specifies that we will have only 5 to 10 on-site visits. We will have the scope of the service will be fixing any issues, customizing some reports. The modules in scope will be this. And then if you see here, which I mentioned and highlighted before, the exclusions. So the support package will not do any integration with a third-party system. It will not do an implementation of a new module. So an implementation of a new module is a new scope. It's not part of support, etc., etc. Now, the last point that I want to mention before we open the room for questions and answers, and I highly encourage you, if you have any questions, you can even start typing them now. It will help us start the conversation. But the last thing that I want to mention is utilizing partner resources. Now, as you know, we have our implementation methodology. It's posted online. We have it on our website. You can just search for Odoo implementation methodology. You will find it. It's a very big guide on how we, as Odoo, implement for our customers who implement with us directly. You can also refer to things like how we build our Odoo cloud hosting service level agreement, how we what points we mention in our SLAs, and this can help you also. You can either take that and add it to your proposal, or you can find a way to make this more relevant to your proposal and add it. We also discuss our security and how we do our backups and disaster recovery. This is something that you can also mention in your proposal for adding the to add to your proposal as well. And last but not least, the documentation. We have a very extensive documentation of all the apps that we have, the installation, everything that a developer might need, etc., etc. Alright, so thank you everyone. Again, my name is Abdul Ghani, and I would love to hear your questions and answers. If you have them, please post them now in the comment section. Okay, so the first question I have is from Insights Solution Corp. As an IT service enterprise and Odoo official partner, how can we have a good room in the market and gain new customers? Okay, that's a very good question from you, and there's a lot of ways. A lot of our partners do online marketing, so they market themselves and their websites and their solutions on Google Ads, or on their website, or on their Instagram. So this is a good way for you to kind of start off. Another thing that you can do is you can get in touch with your account manager or whoever is you are in touch with at Odoo, and ask them, what can I do? Is there something that you can help me with? I know how to work with this industry. Can you help me tackle this industry? What did other partners do? Can you share with me the success stories? So I would say try to explore your own marketing options, but at the same time get in touch with us and let us see what we can do for you. Let us see what is the best way to approach it with you. All right, can we as a partner refer to my Odoo AM to help or answer any inquiry while implementation? Okay, this is an interesting question. So account managers and customer success managers are usually continuously in touch with our customers, and they are continuously in the process and trying to understand what is happening. Yes, we can help by answering certain inquiries when it comes to like certain features or what should be expected from the software. But when it comes to the particular scope, I would highlight, or I would recommend that we keep it between the partner and the client, and that way, because the agreement usually happens between the partner and the customer when it comes to the implementation. So it's better to keep it, between you, but always have the account manager as your support during this implementation. All right, Sean is asking, is there any performance enhancing packages a partner could take? Of course, definitely. So at Odoo, we have obviously the account manager or the account representative, or whoever you're in touch with at Odoo. We try to help you achieve your goals, close your deals, achieve your user count target, etc., etc. But if you need something extra, if you feel like you need something more dedicated training, more technical, more functional, then get in touch with us. We have a range of very exciting and very interesting training courses, and they are training courses that we actually provide to our Odoo resources. A big part of it is what we provide to our Odoo resources when they join Odoo. So you can also benefit from that. So if you want to get to know more about that, I would say get in touch with your account manager, and hopefully they will be able to help you understand them more. All right. Any more questions? Trying to see here. All right, I see that there are 3 questions. All right, could you please mention the most industries that use Odoo? Yes, I can tell you that from my expertise in the Kuwait market, I believe this is very similar across the region and across the world. The industry that utilizes Odoo the most is the retail and wholesale industry. And that's because our core modules, or let's say our most used modules, like the inventory, the sales, accounting, and purchasing, these modules are very well integrated. They do a very good job as an entire package. So we can manage the entire process from the sales to the delivery to the storage to the accounting and all of that. So I would say, if you want to start, this is a good industry for you to start. Lots of people that would be interested to take the solution, and it might not be as complex as other industries like healthcare or manufacturing. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and I appreciate Insight Solution Corp for their questions. Thank you also, Usama and Sean, for your questions. We'll see you later. Take care.